So here we want to expand as much as possible this log expression. It's log, and you notice here it's a cube root, and the cube root is under the whole argument, right? So the cube root of 100 times x all over y squared. Okay, so there are three rules for logs that we need to know. Okay, the first one is called the product rule for logs. Let's say there's one log and there's two terms that are being multiplied together. We can break this up into two different logs and add them together. Okay. The second rule is called the quotient rule for logs, sort of similar, but instead of multiplying, we're going to divide these guys, and similarly we can split them up into two different logs, but with a minus or subtraction between them. Okay, the third rule is the power rule. Okay, so one log, and we know that there's a power in the argument, so what the power rule says is we can actually bring down the power and it'll become the coefficient of the log. So here we want to split this guy up. So we notice in the argument there's three terms, right? We got the 100, we have the x, and the y squared. So we're going to have to split this up into three different logs, right? But the key here is how do we deal with this cube root? Okay, and in this case, well, there's a couple things we can do, but we know that as a power, right, in the power form, right, we can write it like this. So we're like 100x over y squared, all of this to the 1/3 power. Okay. So once again, we can either distribute the 1/3 to each term here, or bring the 1/3 out front. So it doesn't really matter which way we do it. So I'll just distribute it. So 100 to the 1/3 power, x to the 1/3 power, and here in the bottom denominator we get y to the 2/3 power because we have to multiply them together. Okay. So now we can split these guys up, right? So anything in the numerator, right, should get a plus sign. Anything in the denominator should get a minus sign. Okay. So when we split it up, we should get log of 100 to the 1/3 power plus log of x to the 1/3 power minus log of y to the 2/3 power. And we're actually not done yet, okay? And the reason why is because of the power rule, right? So essentially you can think of it, we always need to use the power rule last, okay? So there should be no exponents in the final answer, right? So what does that mean? It means that this 1/3 should come out. Similarly, this 1/3 should come out to the front as a coefficient, and then the 2/3 should come out as well. Okay, there's one last thing we can do, right? Remember, this is log. I don't write the base. We understand it to be log base 10, right? So log base 10 of 100 is 2. So this 1/3 times this 2 right here gives us 2/3, right? Everything else will stay the same. So we get 2/3 plus 1/3 log of x minus 2/3 log of y. Okay, and that should be our final answer here.